Hello, everyone. This is Paul Martin here with Landis. Today, I'm going to take you on a short tour of a new update that's been pushed out for Landis Contact Center. This update went out, I believe, last week. And I wanted to just showcase a few of the features that were included in the update, what they might be used for, so you can kind of get a picture of if these features might be a benefit to your organization. So we're going to start by looking at the queue configurations. There's a number of different things that we have added or changed here. So the first thing you'll notice if you're familiar and you already have a contact center set up, you're familiar with the queues management page where you manage the settings on your queues. We have changed the configuration a little bit to have more of a tabbed approach here. Instead of a long scrolling list of settings, it's now better organized by schedule, by messages, and exception handling, integrations, and different things like that. So hopefully you can find your way around a little bit easier there. One of the new features that we've added is around the queue breakout, we're calling it. So you're already familiar with the action on timeout. So when a call times out in the queue after 5 minutes, let's say, we want it to go to voicemail or go to a answering service or IVR or something like that. We now have the ability to add a breakout type. So this is giving the caller the option to leave the queue for a number of reasons. Of course, they could request a callback. They could go to an IVR. They could go to a voicemail, anything like that. This allows you to even have hidden menu options for certain Premier clients, let's say, where they can select an option while they're waiting, and it can trigger an IVR or a callback or something like that. So down here at the bottom, you'll notice the breakout type. You can set it to whatever you want it to be. In this case, it's set to voicemail, and you can set the voicemail box that you want it to be directed towards. So queue breakout. Now, the other thing that we have added is let's explore a callback request type breakout. So we're going to request a callback, or the caller is going to select an option to request a callback. And we added some more functionality to the IVR type that can gather that information on the callback. So if we go to the IVR, for example, I'll go to this breakout IVR that I would allow the caller in the queue to select. And now I have it configured to get the information that we require to call this person back. So previously it was just a pretty much a flat, would you like a callback? Yes. Okay, thank you. Someone will call you back. But now it's greatly expanded to be able to gather information like the callback reason. And we could even take voice input block where the caller could simply say the reason why they're calling and requesting a callback. So, for example, they could say, I need to reschedule my appointment, and the system could pick up on that. So there's a voice input block confirming callback number. And so here we have a split that allows the caller to confirm the callback number. This is another new feature where they can indicate if there's a different number that they would like called back at. So in this example here, we confirm their number that they're calling. If that's the number they want called back, they make that selection and it registers a new callback. This breakout over here would allow them to enter a phone number that they would like called back at, and it would collect that. Now, all of this information now correlates to a new report that we've added called callback requests. What this allows you to do is to pass through those values to the report so the agent that is returning the call can see that information. More specifically, the callback description right here. So that request where the caller said, I need to reschedule my appointment, could then be passed through and the description could be set on the report. So as the agent goes to return the call, they see the information of this caller. They can see any additional phone numbers that they request to be called back at, and they can see the reason for the callback. So as they're going to call that customer, they have the information on their screen that they need, and they're prepared for that. So lots of new improvements there around the callbacks. Having this report, I think, will be really helpful for your agents if they depend on the callback feature. Okay, so moving on, we also have some improvements to Wrapup Questions. And more specifically, we now allow for freeform text input on the Wrapup question. So I'm in the Wrapup question settings here. So this is where you manage your questions, and you add the answers that you want your agents to pick from. And there's now also an accept custom value option here. This allows the agent to freeform type in a note about that call, a case number or something like that that may correspond to that phone call, and save it along with the wrap-up questions. You can choose to have just a blank question where they just type in what they, the answer that they want, or you can also still give them a drop-down list of options, but then also have a free-form text option, whatever works best for you there. Okay, moving on. So that's the wrap-up questions. We made some improvements to the agent panel. A couple of things here. So if you notice on the flyout where you select your agent status and sign in and out of the queue, there is no longer a save button here. So previously you had to make your changes and then click save, and it would register the changes. Sometimes we ran into it where people would make the changes and forget to hit save and navigate away from the page, and their queue sign in or status was not saved. So now there is no save button. As soon as you make a change, it will automatically just pause for a second and then register that change, and no save button is required. One other improvement that we've made here is being able to see the total time in status. So I am on break. It shows that this agent has been in that status for 45 minutes here. As we make changes, it'll then register the change and reset the timer to indicate how long I've been in that status. Now, if we go over to the reporting side of things, let's go to the queue status page. We also see that information here for from the management side. So as the managers are looking over the queue and the agents and who's signed in the queue, we can also see the duration of status for that agent. So it just gives a little bit more detail as to how long they've been on break or how long they've been in any certain status. Okay. There have also been some improvements to the reports. And it's a small thing, but it makes a big difference, especially if you have a lot of data columns on your reports. And that is the ability to freeze a column to the sidebar. So here we see, as we scroll across the data, the name, in this case, the agent name, is a frozen column that we have there to the left. Now, the nice thing is you can freeze any panel just by right-clicking and freeze to the left or right. So if there's any data that you always want to be persistent as you view these reports, you can see that here on the reports on the left-hand side or the right-hand side, and it just makes it a little bit easier to understand that reporting. Speaking of the agent summary page, one additional feature we've added here is the ability to filter by organization unit. So if you do have a large number of agents across your tenant, across your organization, you now can break them out by organization unit so that it's not such a long list of names, and you can give certain managers the permissions to see only specific lists of agents as it pertains to the group in which they're managing. So you can create different organization units. That's nothing new. The organization units are used for quite a number of different things, managing settings and access and data and whatnot. But now that also applies to the agent summary page to make it a little bit more efficient to get that information. All right. The last thing I wanted to point out is around chat. So obviously Landis in a previous update kind of released the first iteration of chat integration where you can have chats coming in through, let's say, a website, for example. Chats are shown right inside of the Teams client for the agent. So this example just shows the chat coming in. There's now some more customization that you can add here as far as greetings and responses to the chat. But then on the left-hand side here, you see how it comes right into the agent panel the Teams client for the agent. So again, centralizing where they are receiving those chats from. They have one list of chats. They don't have to manage chats elsewhere. So it's a pretty efficient system for those agents being added to chat queues and managing those chats. So in this update, we've made a few minor tweaks around the chat greetings and so on. But if you're not utilizing chat and you'd like to, feel free to reach out to us. And there's also a good description there in the documentation as to how you can configure that. Okay. That was a real quick run through. There were some other, small tweaks and upgrades and UI changes and things like that to make the system even better. We appreciate your, using Landis. If there's any questions about any of these updates, or if you would like any help configuring these items, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'd be happy to assist. Thanks and have a great day.